The Lake Erie Grape Discovery Center is the official visitors center for the New York State Lake Erie Concord Grape Belt Heritage Area. Supporting and promoting the grape industry, visit us and learn about grape growing history in the Lake Erie region. Shop for grapey gifts, taste local wine in a Concord vineyard. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey, good morning and happy August, everyone, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and we have yet another great show in store for you. So stick around, don't go anywhere. And if you do have to go somewhere, because I'm going to be telling you about a lot of cool things coming up here for today, you can always watch us again later on at 2 and 8 right here on Access 5. And for those of you in Jamestown, good afternoon. It'll be Tuesday at 1 o'clock on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. We're glad that you're listening in, and as always, you can't call us, but you always can email us or text us later on if you have a question about today's show. And of course, we are on YouTube forever and ever, and you always can click in the show and watch us over and over again until your heart's content. Okay. Well, the weather has been interesting, as always here in Chautauqua County. If you're new to Chautauqua County, our summers can be really hot and dry, they can be really wet, and this year we seem to have a combination of both. Barb and I went up to Maine for a few days in between shows, so when we got back, it was just about ready to come down and rain, but we had seen that while we were gone, the grass got really dry and stuff, and now all the fish in my water garden are floating down the driveway, so it's a bunch of extremes, to say the least. So don't let the weather knock you down. Don't worry about that, because there's a lot of good stuff here in Chautauqua County to do throughout the summer, fall, all year round. So we're going to tell you a little bit about that shortly. I was watching network TV, Buffalo TV, this morning before I left, and I was so excited. You were talking about the Comedy Center and what's going on there. So Jamestown, good on you. They're talking about you up in Buffalo, so that's pretty good stuff. And they were showing the center, the Comedy Center, and all the exhibits and things like that. So we're going to have to get those folks on the show here soon and talk a little bit more about what's going on down there. All right, so we're into August, and we have another whole month of programs that I think you're going to enjoy. And for those of you up in Fredonia and Dunkirk and Jamestown, the show is broadcast throughout the week as well. And if you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have something you want to announce for your club or organization, you can call us, you can text us, you can email us, and they're going to pop all that information up right now. And you can give us a call at 753-5225. Magic of TV. See that, how that worked? And we'll be happy to take your question or comment. Don't be shy. If you are shy, but you want to get the information out, call, give the information to the operator, who's very nice, that will take your message. They'll write it down, and somehow they'll give it to Justin. He'll sneak around with the cameras, hand it to me, and I'll make the announcement. We do this all the time. We're happy to do that. Remember, this show is all about what's going on here in Chautauqua County, what's good in Chautauqua County, and today's show is no different. Okay, just real quick, just to share a little bit about my excursion up into Maine. So there I am, doing the husband thing, and y'all will understand this in a minute. When you go into Maine and you go to these little towns, there are thousands of little shops. You name it, they try to sell it to you. So I was doing my good husband deed, and I was standing outside waiting. I was on my iPhone just doing whatever I'm doing, and I look across to the next shop over to my left, and I look at this guy, and I go, he looks kind of familiar. And he kind of looks me over, and we don't say anything. And then the next thing I hear from this guy, he says, so how was the Roswell ride? My eyes go up. I go, it was okay. I said, why? Do you know about this? He says, oh, I'm from Chautauqua County. I live in Lakewood. And I look at him closer and go, I think I know this guy. And he says, Doc? I go, Pat? It was Pat Johnson, the former warden of the Chautauqua County Jail. We're on Facebook together, and while he's looking me over, he gets on Facebook to see if I had ridden in the Roswell ride. So anyways, there we are in the middle of Camden, Maine, and we run into each other. Lots of fun. One of the things we did do that was kind of interesting, and I shared this with you, is Barb and I, we went on a 2.5-hour little boat excursion, and we went out to see the puffins. And yes, Justin, I brought a puffin with me, a facsimile. Okay, puffins are these little stubby short birds. Thank goodness for little Thai babies here, beanie babies. Puffins are these short little guys, and they evidently planted them on some of these coastal islands. I don't even know how long ago, but they are so cool, and they have these stubby little wings, but boy, they can fly, and they kind of dive behind you as you're on the ships. And anyway, so we saw harbor seals and bald eagles, and it was just a nice day out there. So anyways, that was my little story from our trip this past week up in Maine. So, but there's a lot to do here in Chautauqua County as well. We go to Maine because that's where we honeymooned, and that was 35 years ago. Woo. Anyways, so let's talk about what's going on here in Chautauqua County. Let's go down to Jamestown, New York. Let's go to Infinity. They want you to know, this is one of those mark your calendar kind of things. We talked about it last couple of weeks. Look at that poster. I need that for my collection. It's the 14th annual local music showcase that's going to be held on September 9th. And this is how it goes, basically. You pay one money, and you get a wristband. You go all over the place. I'm going to name the venues here in a second, and some of them are on there. You may not be able to read them, but for the folks on the radio, especially in Jamestown, it's going to be at Brazil's, Forte's, Infinity Arts Cafe, Jamestown Skate Products, Labyrinth, Mojo's, Shawbucks, the Pub, the Q, and the Wine Cellar. That's where Will and I will be playing. And they're still looking for some volunteers. And if you do volunteer, you put a little bit of time, you get a free wristband, and you get to go wherever you want. And the music starts, I think, around 6, looks like 7 o'clock is where the music starts, and then it goes all through the night. So anyways, there's some at 6 over at the Infinity Cafe. It starts at 6. So anyways, it's a great day for music. All the proceeds, of course, goes to support the Infinity programs over there. For more information, if you're interested, I'll find it. It's around here somewhere. I can't find the phone number. Anyways, give them a call. They're on 2nd Street, or you can go to their emails and go LMS at, thank you. Why didn't I see that? LMS at infinityperformingarts.org, or you can give them a call right here on the top of the page. Jeff says 664-0991. Okay? Cleverly disguised as a line. Okay, let's go on to slide 16. Open to the public day. Children's Safety Education Village just down the road in Asheville. All right, they're having an open day to the public On August 15th, it's a Tuesday from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. or from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Now, this is really cool because this is for children kindergarten through 6th grade. They can come in there and learn about traffic, bike, and fire safety. Parents are free and welcome to stay as well. Classes are limited in space, so sign up now if you can. $7 per child, bargain. And program includes outdoor training, which will take place in all weather conditions, rain or shine. And please dress children appropriately. Students must wear gym shoes. Okay, if you're just visiting the area for the week, or you're looking for something to do for your children, this is just a really good educational, fun opportunity. So check it out, August 15th at the Children's Safety Education Village. Okay, let's go over to Westfield, the Grape Discovery Center. They're still looking for, as always, volunteers to help them out in their center down there, the Grape Discovery Center. But they also want you to know, coming up next week, next Saturday, keep our fingers crossed it'll be dry that day, the Grape Belt Open Golf Tournament, which will be held at the Pinehurst Golf Club right in Westfield. And it's an 18-hole, 4-person scramble. Sign in at 8:15. Shotguns start at 9. $65 per player. Includes refreshments at the turn and dinner awards following the tournament. Let's see. There are all the benefits go to the Grape Discovery Center. Of course, it's a fundraiser. If you have need for more information, or you want to sponsor a hole, so on, give Lisa a call at 326-5292 or Rosie 410-7313. You also can go down to the Pinehurst Golf Club to register, or right there at the Grape Discovery Center at 8305 West Main Road in Westfield, New York. Okay? So that's a fun day. Now, my buds over in Sherman. All right. The 5K run must be done by now. Even I can finish it if it started at 8 o'clock, I could have finished it by now. But it's Sherman Day right now, today, and hopefully the weather clears off fast for them. They have some various things going on. In 46 minutes, they're having the Grand Parade. So if those of you that are nearby, you can finish watching this show and walk out the door and go over to Sherman and watch the parade. Starting at 10 through 4 o'clock, they're going to have food and craft vendors, car show, antique tractor show, children's games, water slide, bounce house, dunk tank. I don't do those, by the way. And then, of course, the fireman chicken barbecue, which is always famous, and it goes till the last wing is sold. And, of course, they're all famous lawn tractor poker run. I have to try that sometime. That sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, let's go up to Hanover in the Silver Creek. The Hanover Community Chamber of Commerce is again sponsoring the Silver Creek Village-wide yard sale. And this will be their 25th year of this great event, and it's going to be held tomorrow. Okay? August 5, tomorrow. And it starts at 9 o'clock. And basically, I read this through because it's quite a long dissertation here, but I'll give you the short on the whole thing. Got 125 different folks participating. That's a lot of stuff out of a garage. It starts at 9, as I said, and then at 3:01, they have bunches of bargains. So if you want to wait around, that's when they discount things. They want things to move, but they want to sell it. And they're going to have this little map, so you can pay a couple bucks for it. It says nominal fee, so I'm assuming it's a couple dollars. And it shows you where all the sales are throughout the whole village. And then anybody that buys a map, you get a chance to win a $25 chamber gift certificate and receive discount coupons for local businesses and so on. And the drawing is held at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So for those of you that are interested, 934-9522 or 934-7334. And I will pay people $5 not to tell my wife. Okay, let's go to Hamburg. I know it seems like kind of odd that we're talking about Hamburg, but we have one of our community members, a friend of ours, Deanna Coggins. We mentioned this earlier this month, or last month I should say. She had a stroke, an aneurysm, and really knocked her down pretty hard. And folks are rallying around her to help pay some medical bills and so on. And they're having a nice benefit for her at the Moose Lodge, 45 Church Street in Hamburg. And that's Sunday from 2 p.m. till whenever. Tickets are only $20. Food, beer, pop, Chinese auction, 50-50. So for those of you that want to help somebody lend a hand here, support Deanna and her situation. So Deanna's a friend of mine, and I hope she gets well soon. Okay, I sent this one over to be read today because this sounds like fun. I've never seen this before. Maybe I can check this out. Dragon boats on Chautauqua Lake. The Dragons return to Chautauqua Lake this coming weekend, that would be next week, with the second annual Dragon Boat Race scheduled for Saturday, August 12, at the Lucille Ball Memorial Park in Celeron. The Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce is proud to help support this event and is fielding a team. The inaugural... Hey, guys, listen up. Jeff, Chris, Justin, Randy, let's get a boat. Let's do this. This sounds like fun. We could be the Chautauqua Sunrise Dragon Boat. What do you think? No takers. All right. The inaugural event last year was a tremendous success with 20 teams from local sponsors and community organizations participating. The opening ceremony is 9 a.m. and the races run until 3 p.m. On Chautauqua Lake at Celeron. And if you want to know more, you can... What's that? Say it again? Oh, they're going to be... You're going to be broadcasting live? Okay. Let's go on to... Where am I going now? Throughout Chautauqua County is America's Grape Country Wine Festival, August 11th through the 13th. Enjoy food, wine, craft beer, live music, and more at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds, August 11th through the 13th. I just said that. For America's Grape Country Wine Festival, launched by Merritt Estate Winery several years ago, this festival is designed to increase awareness about the Concord grape industry in our area and showcases New York State wines and distilled beverages along with agricultural products from across the state. There's a kickoff party from 6 to 10 on Friday, and the festival runs from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and noon to 5 on Sunday. And if you want to check it out, go to check out the agcwinefestival.com. agcwinefestival, all one word, .com for more information. Okay, we're getting there. Coming up, August 16th, excuse me, there's a conference called Healthy Relationships. It's open to professionals and community members, presented by the Salvation Army, a new center, and funded through Verizon's Hope Line grant. Cost is free, meals provided at no cost, but you have to register. It's going to be at the Peak and Peak Resort in Clymer, New York, and it's going to be featuring something called A Call to Men, which works to create a world where all men and boys are loving and respectful, and all women and girls are valued and safe. Keynote speaker will be Juan Ramos. And if you want to know more information, check in with the Salvation Army, a news center. All right, let's go to Sheridan. Chautauqua County's rich history of cheesemaking will be in the spotlight later this summer when two historical societies partner with a local winery to present an evening combining wine, cheese, and local history. How cool is that? This will be held on August 16th at 6:30 p.m. It's a Wednesday. So it's the Chautauqua County Historical Society and the Sheridan Historical Society will host this at the Liberty Wine up in Sheridan, New York. Okay, the program will include optional wine and cheese pairings featuring wines from Liberty Winery and so on. Let's see here. For more information, give them a call at 326-2977, or you can go to the McClurg Mansion and talk to them there, or go to their, you can email them at cchs@mcclurgmuseum.org. And there's going to be a limit of 100 tickets, and you do have to make a reservation. All right, that takes care of that. And moving along, going back down to Jamestown, the Jamestown Community Chamber of Commerce will present Jamestown Cruisin' August 18th in downtown Jamestown. This event will harken back to the roots of the original event, featuring classic cars, live music, and fun activities for all ages. Sponsoring the Jamestown Cruisin' is the Jamestown Renaissance Corporation, which previously organized and hosted this event and is financially supporting it this year. Additional sponsorship, I'll get this right. I'm going a little too fast. Additional sponsorship opportunities are available. Der Cobbler's Automobile Association, Media One Group, and Northwest Arena are partners in presenting the Jamestown Cruise. And there's going to be live music, bubblegum chewing contest, 50s themed dress-up contest, a dance contest, a hula hoop contest. Randy's going to enter that one, he told me. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So for more information, give him a call at 338-6089. Okay, let's go on to the miniature golf tournament that's coming up. That's my style, okay? I'm not very good at regular golf. So this would be slide 21. This is going to be held August 19th at 9 a.m. Rain or shine at Webb's Miniature Golf Course, right here in Mayville, New York. It's being sponsored by my home club, the Rotary Club of Westfield, Mayville. This is a charity event that is fun for all ages. All net proceeds from this event will be donated to Rotary International's Polio Plus Fund to aid in the eradication of the crippling disease of polio in the world. Help put, I didn't write this, an end to polio. Help put an end. Ooh, clever. Jim Wakeman must have written that one. This charity event includes 18 holes of fun, miniature golf, and other activities. Participants will enter as teams of 4 players each. Get your friends, family, and colleagues to sign up as foursomes. Advance registration by August 12th is strongly encouraged to secure your spot. The registration fee for a team is only $50 for 4 people. They're looking for sponsors for various holes of $50. And I'm proud to say that Chautauqua Sunrise is a sponsor of hole number 1. So for more information, you can give our president, Janice Burkhouse, a call at 397-8801. And that's by the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club. Okay, let's go to Westfield now for the Westfield Memorial Hospital Blood Drive. It's going to be held August 25 from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome. And listen to this. If you do this, you have a chance to win a $5,000 Walt Disney vacation. Must have valid ID. You got to be 17 years old or 16 with written consent. You got to weigh at least 110 pounds, good health, and not receive tattoo or piercing in the last 12 months. And they want you to know, drink lots of water or eat well before donating. And finally, still in Westfield, this is to announce the Lakeshore Center for the Arts. They're going to pop that poster up here in a second. I know they are. It's an original play written by Rick Mascaro, my buddy Rick. You saw him. He helped me narrate the parade this year. This is a reflection on the past of Westfield, small town America. Will be epic, and many people that cannot be here for the 2 performances have expressed interest in having a video of it. This is where you all come in. Let's see, hang on a second. Last year you heard about the fact that they did Kill a Mockingbird, and things didn't quite work out. So now they're going to have the show at the Sanctuary at the Presbyterian Church in Westfield, and they're going to try to film it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. The dates for this show are September 2 and Wednesday, September 6, starting at 8 p.m. This is in a series that Rick is planning to do. And he already has some characters written for the next one. So from what I understand, these are all characters that were real people in Westfield at one time, and he's written a play called Harvest Moon all about those. And evidently, I've got a call, Linda Spalding, on the line that wants to tell me something important. So Linda, good morning.
Well, good morning, and it's great to hear about these plays coming up.
Yeah, lots of fun, huh?
Yes. Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. And the next one coming up about people from Westfield, that should be fascinating.
Harvest Moon, should be good. Rick does good work. So what's up?
Well, I just wanted to say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to everyone there. And it's a beautiful day of revival today, isn't it?
Yeah, especially for the plants.
Right. So, and of course, we have our things going on with our computer trading in Westfield and Brockton, and we're still looking for someone in the Jamestown area to be a transport aide.
Okay.
So we have openings in our senior employment program too. It's a good time to be looking for work.
Okay, and if they're interested, give them a call at
753-4471 is the main office at the Office for the Aging.
All right, super. And senior picnic is coming up, right? August 18th,
That's correct.
Midway Park,
Midway Park,
$7.
right?
Okay,
Terrific.
we got it. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks
Have
for calling.
Have a great day and a great weekend.
All right, you too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to have a public service announcement, and we're going to be right back, so stay tuned.
How long have we been married, Dan?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years. We decided on Meals on Wheels because I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do. We're the Spans. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Hey, and we're back, and you're still watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and I'm going to now frame the discussion that my guest that's coming up here in a second. He just came out of the green room all powdered up, looks good. He got his hair styled just for today, I'm sure. A number of years ago, I got contacted by Sue McNamara, I think it was, if I was interested in joining an organization, and I didn't know too much about it at the time, and I was administrator at BOCES, and I said, yeah, I'm interested because I'm really into what's going on in Chautauqua County, as you can tell. And that was 20 years ago. And today I am going to welcome an individual who's part of the same organization, and he is representing Chautauqua Leadership Network. And so I want to welcome to the show Dave Thomas. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am very well, and almost out of breath from all those announcements.
Yeah,
We were commenting during the little break there how this place is hopping. Chautauqua County is alive, and it's a great place to be, huh?
There is a lot going on, especially in the summer in Chautauqua County.
And actually, there's a lot going on in the wintertime, too, and a lot of times people don't even realize it, so that's why we talk about those things, and we try to get that on the air, because how else are you going to find out? If you don't have the money to put in the newspaper, or you don't have enough money to get it on the radio, we'll help you out. And so it's a good thing. So Dave, you're here as past president of the Chautauqua Leadership Network, and past president of what? I mean, what does that all mean?
Well, Chautauqua Leadership's been around for 25 years. I know you were back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was in the class of 2009. Very fun, very fast-paced year you go through. It opens you up the opportunity to work together with a lot of folks throughout the county, both learning and exploring your own leadership styles, as well as working with people that have unsimilar leadership styles.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you get people that are very extroverted, people that are very introverted. Sometimes people just aren't comfortable opening up. But in our day-to-day, whether it's at work or play, you run into these kind of people.
And sometimes, it's funny you said that, because sometimes, even with our families, my wife is pretty quiet. And sometimes I think she's mad at me, like all the time. But it's not. She's just quiet. And so, and I'm, as you can tell, I'm very extroverted. And so I would suspect probably what you're saying is if you're at work and you have people that are not like you, there could be a miscommunication, perhaps?
Well, the miscommunication can happen, but a lot of times just the dynamics of getting your message across in the interaction that you have with those people. There's different methodologies to explore and learn to do that.
So what are you?
I'm mostly an extrovert. I've got a little bit of introvert in me.
So you learned a little bit about you.
I learned a little bit more about me. I learned a little bit more about other folks that I interacted with during my calendar year from the North County. And a lot of that, I've still stayed in touch with some of those people through different things that we do at work.
Does the network have an overall mission? I know you talk a little bit about, getting people to develop their leadership styles, but I think it's a bigger mission, maybe?
The mission's kind of broad, and basically it's to help foster and grow leaders in our community. We hear all the time of the young folks leaving this area, and yet there's still a lot of young folks that live and thrive in this community. We need to take and work with people, young and old alike, to help promote our county. We've got a lot of good people, a lot of good assets, and a lot of good things happening around here.
Well, aren't people just natural leaders? Why do you have to grow them?
Well, even just in the calendar year that I went through it in '09, learning about more things in different areas of the county. My business that I work in, we operate county-wide, and we talk about it, that there's that natural divide at the Casadega line, and it's very true in all aspects of the different businesses. And that's something we explored a little bit through the course of our calendar year.
You know, I've often asked people where that magic line is, and nobody can exactly put their finger on it. So, those of you that are listening right now, you know, many of them know that I have a column in Silver Magazine with the Post-Journal once a month, and the title of mine is called From Out of the West. I don't live in North County or South County, I live in West County.
Wow.
And it blows everybody away. They go, "We mean West County?" I go, "We live in the West, we don't live..."
We definitely have 4 quadrants to this county, absolutely.
And so I think that's one of the nice things about the network, right?
Yeah.
Is that you explore the community and you erase these lines.
You try to knock down those walls, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're growing leaders to do what?
Well, we've got a variety of folks. I mean, and I'm going to even point out our current county exec, Vince Horgan. He's been involved with the Chautauqua Leadership Network. We've had, like you pointed out, Dr. Sue McNamara. As a result of my going through that year, Sue had called me up 3-4 years ago to come up and work with one of her business classes. In doing that, that business class helped my company redesign our logo for our vehicles and our company.
Wow, nice. When I was preparing mentally to come to the show today, I was thinking through what could I add to the conversation about the Chautauqua Leadership Network, and so I started thinking about, well, what did it do for me and the people that were in the class of '97? Well, Roberta Keller, who is now the chief executive officer. She's the executive director of Chautauqua Opportunities, but she wasn't then.
Right.
I was a middle-level administrator at BOCES, and I finished up as school superintendent. I'm trying to think who else. Andy Goodell went through the program a year or two before me as county executive, and other people that I've known that started out at these kind of a little bit middle management, just entering the field. I think it helped them promote their careers.
The president of my company, Betsy Wright, who's CEO of the hospital, went through the program many years ago.
Really?
Yes.
How many people are in the program?
This current year, we have 23 people. We always strive to have about 24 go through the program during the calendar year. So you take the 25 years that we've been here and 20-plus people, we've put together and helped approximately 600 people go through the program to learn about themselves, learn about the community, and help develop some of their leadership styles.
600 people in Chautauqua County have gone through the program. Have you seen any, you mentioned your benefit, with your company. Have there been any other testimonial type things?
Wow, I'm sure there's always something. Everybody takes something unique out. For me, like I say, it was, as I've grown with my company, it's helped me learn more about myself, given me a little bit more insight to how I can lead my organization.
I was sitting in a meeting once. I can't remember what it was for. It was a county commission of some sort. I think it was for families, community commission on families. I think that's what it was called. I've sat on so many different boards and commissions. Anyway, so there was a bunch of us sitting around the table, and I remember saying, this would be a great thing to bring up to the Chautauqua Leadership Network. And I said, I'm a member. And I said, anybody else here? And it was like 10 of us, and 9 out of the 10, I didn't even know we were all members at different years.
Didn't even know.
It was incredible.
Absolutely. And you bring it up that you've sat on many boards. I ended up coming onto a variety of boards after the class that I went through. Vince Horgan, I was on the board, Chautauqua County Board of Ethics with him half dozen years ago. It opens up the doors to organizations that need some some guidance, some people to be involved.
You know, many people go through high school, perhaps college. There's no book on how to be a leader, is there?
There really isn't. I think it's something that you have to dig into yourself and explore. You got to tear down some of the fears of exposing yourself to opening up.
What kind of fears are you thinking about here?
Well, even just for the introverted type people, for them to take and stand up in front of a group and make a presentation, that's got to be tougher for them than people that are extroverted that can just get up there and babble away.
Yeah, some people often come up to me and say, how can you just get on TV and talk, or I'm a musician, get in front of a microphone? I go, I wasn't always that way.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew me when I was a little kid, I was a nervous wreck all the time. And just through Boy Scouts, going to school, being a musician, Chautauqua Leadership, and Rotary, whatever, you push yourself a little bit out there, and eventually you can do these things.
Well, it goes along to that saying, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. And the more you can be out there in the community, presenting yourself, presenting your missions, the easier it becomes.
Okay, so 600 people have gone through the program. You got 23 people in program right now. So is this for anybody? How's it work?
Well, each year, approximately this time of year, we begin a drive to recruit for the class for next year. We like to get the people signed invested already by Christmas time, because we start with a retreat weekend where we get together, we have facilitators, we do a program, we help them learn. They have 24 individual people that probably don't know each other, and by the end of the weekend, they've got people that if they needed something in the North County, they could pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I need this up there, who could you put me in touch with? That's something that you can't do through just regular walking down the streets.
In the old days, it was you met on the golf course, or you had a drink at the local establishments. But this is different.
It is a little bit different, yes.
So, is there an age eligibility, a job eligibility?
There's generally not been an age eligibility. Most of the time, it's ended up being 25, 35-year-olds. Although when I went through the program 8 years ago, I was 47. So age is not a limiter, but it's usually been 30-somethings.
So you're looking for those people that are upward mobile, perhaps, within a company, and that need some guidance, perhaps? Or?
Well, guidance or assistance to learn a little bit more about themselves, learn more about the community. You know, as I said, we joke about it, but there is that line in our county. I'm from the South County, and yet part of my business operates in the North County. So, you know, I have to connect, interact with people.
Absolutely. We're all one county, and we're we're a small county. We're not like this big, huge, humongous Manhattan or something crazy like millions of people. Everybody knows everybody.
130,000 people in the county. It doesn't take much.
Not at all. I was sitting here figuring out, I was 45 when I went through the program. And so, but I think they were trying to find people that were, available at the time, and then working their way down and so forth. So that's really interesting. There's got to be some kind of a cost involved here.
So we have an annual tuition. The annual tuition for the program is $1,400. And at first people might say, wow, $1,400. We have approximately 10 to 12 different sessions throughout the calendar year, 3-4 hours. If I were to send some of my people out on a work session or a seminar.
That's the hotel bill.
Yeah, that $1,400 can go very quickly.
Yeah.
To have this opportunity for that amount of money during the course of the year for 3-4 hour investments a dozen times, that's a very inexpensive cost.
So there could be some small businesses that are listening right now and say, well, I have some people that I would love to promote. I don't have the resources to do it myself. This sounds perfect, but I don't have $1,400. Is there any scholarships or anything?
We have typically reached out to some foundations for some assistance and things like that.
Okay.
So yes, there is the opportunity for some of that. And basically, the process all starts with sending in an application.
Okay.
And those are available online at chautauqualeadership.org. or they could reach out to our coordinator, Katie Young, at 338-1555.
Okay, and I know you're on Facebook as well.
Yes, we are.
Because that's where I went the other day to have a look. So there's the phone number again, 338-1555, and that's Katie.
Katie Young.
Katie Young is the director. of
She's
that.
our coordinator, yes.
Coordinator. Okay, you've been very, very professional referring to your business, but you haven't named it. Go ahead. Where do you work? What do you do?
I'm executive director for WCA Services. We run All-Star EMS throughout the county. That's what Sue McNamara's class helped us re-logo and rebrand our organization a few years back. I also help oversee the Starflight program. Starflight is a very unique program. We operate in conjunction with the Chautauqua County Sheriff, and WCA Services All-Star provides the medical team, and then Starflight Inc. provides the ownership of the aircraft to help raise funds and make all of this work.
So you were born and raised in Chautauqua County?
I've been in Chautauqua County all my life except for college.
Okay, and where were you born, like in Jamestown?
I was born in Jamestown, still live in
All
Jamestown.
right, yeah. I'm a transplant. After all these years, I'm more Chautauquan now than I was Erie County. I was born in Buffalo, but 2/3 of my life I've been down here, so I consider myself a Chautauquan.
It's a beautiful area.
It's unbelievably beautiful. Okay, so you saw benefit in this, and you've reaped some fruits of the organization from the networking, and I know I felt the same way. There have been people, as I mentioned, Roberta, there's actually a candidate running for county executive right now, name the person, but went through the program at the time. And so there are people that I've known that have moved up into various ranks throughout the county that I mentioned earlier. So networking is important, and I don't think people really realize how important it is to be able to Facebook, text somebody, you need something, you need a cost, you need a price, give me a lead. That's invaluable, isn't
That's
it?
very invaluable. I think last year really showed how some of that networking came to be. I'm here today because of the networking that you have as a member of CLN. At the end of 2015, our director was retiring, and we put together a strategic initiative during all of 2016, basically trying to say, okay, truly, what is CLN? How do we take and go another 25 years? There was alumni that came back in variety of strategic sessions to help figure out truly what is the mission statement. How do the alumni volunteers help run the community or the program? And again, we had people from the original classes, pretty much every class all the way through participate. And in the end, at the end of 2016, there was a clear and definite path for how CLN will move forward in the future.
So you have a board of directors.
We have a board of directors, yes.
And the person that retired was in my class, Penny Hutton.
Yes.
She was my classmate in the
Wonderful lady.
class. Yeah. So the question popped up in my earpiece was, is this unique to Chautauqua County?
There are other leadership programs throughout Western New York, Northwestern Pennsylvania, and I'm sure throughout the country. Katie's husband, who works at JCC.
He was just on the show. Not
Okay,
very long ago,
great, Kirk, yeah.
Yep.
He was part of a leadership organization, I believe it was in Arizona. I'm not positive to that. But we've been working to try to help maintain our organization, because some of them have failed through the years. And I think all in all, Chautauqua Leadership Network has a pretty robust program and a pretty robust future.
One of the founders of it was Bard Shack, and
Yep.
he actually was part of my Rotary Club, and he's now relocated to California. He comes back every once in a while. And I could be wrong on this, but I've found that a lot of the principles of the Leadership Network kind of parallel Rotary and a lot of your service organizations, but then it takes it to the next step of developing leadership. But even Rotary does that to some degree, is helping people develop themselves and so forth, and I think they're better for it. So kind of an interesting history of it, 25 years, wow. It
It's a
seems
long
hard to
time.
believe. I think there's other organizations. I think there's one, Leadership Buffalo, or...
There's a Leadership Buffalo, and there's a very strong program down in Allegheny, Cattaraugus County.
Right, and I think there's one in Erie County,
Yes.
Pennsylvania. I forgot what they're called, but I think these things have been popping up over the years.
Yeah.
But I think the key that you hit on, Dave, was that it's still here.
It's still here.
Because it's so easy for these things just to kind of fade away and so forth. So it's a credit to the organization. That's
And I
great.
think the one nice thing with Chautauqua Leadership is it's totally run by volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
We have Katie Young, who's our coordinator, who does the hard work in the trenches of getting things put together.
Right.
But as far as the guidance, the steerage, and running the organization, it's all done by volunteers. And that goes a long way. That's what our community thrives on, is people
Oh,
getting
yeah.
re-involved and staying involved in things.
And when you volunteer and there's no pay involved, it just seems like it really goes a long ways, because there's no arguing. There's no money involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's clean, and people feel good about it. Let's hold that thought for a second. Folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and my guest today is Dave Thomas, who's representing the Chautauqua Leadership Network and past president, and let me get this right, Executive Director of WCA Services. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
You wouldn't believe how many titles I go through every month here.
I'm sure.
So I want to get that right. And if you do have a call about this topic or any other topic, give us a call at 753-5225. Dave, I want to go back to what you were talking about, the year-long program, and let's take some time with this, because I think this is really the crux of what Chautauqua Leadership Network is for the new person, and then over time, you've talked about the networking, but as far as the leadership development part of it, from day one to graduation, let's talk a little bit about that. You said the retreat. Where is it held? How long is it? Let's really dig into that.
So in the past, it had been held at Chautauqua Institution for a long time. As we started looking at different things, it ended up this past year, we held it at the Chautauqua Suites.
Oh.
There was a concern, is the change in venue going to change some of the dynamics of the program? It was different people. They had never gone through the
Right.
program
Well-
that you and I went through at Chautauqua Institution.
Right,
Bellinger
Bellinger
Hall.
Yeah.
So they ended up coming out with, well, and it was actually a little bit different of a program weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Our lead facilitator had changed. Larry Robinson had retired.
Oh.
Larry had done a great job.
Larry's a great guy.
Kirk Young actually ended up
Oh,
facilitating
okay.
the weekend. So again, our folks that went through this year had not seen prior years.
Right.
There
Nothing
was
to
very
compare with. Yeah.
very positive remarks, very positive output. A lot of the classes in the past, and it's difficult. We all have so many things going on in our lives. These folks have all stayed invested through the course of this year. And here, you had said earlier in the program, we're into August already. Prior years, we had some problems with people staying committed to the program, and it's not been an issue this year. So I think that's kudos to the team
Good.
that has put together a lot of the activities in sessions.
Okay, let's see if we can pull back some of our memories of the retreat. So what kind of activities do they do?
Well, obviously they have some icebreakers, a lot of icebreakers, because on the retreat weekend you've got 24 people, a dozen facilitators and others. They don't have a clue as to who they are, what anything
I don't
is about.
think I knew anybody when I showed up for my
And you look around the room and you think, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And at the end of that weekend, those people, they don't know everything about you, your kid's name, but they know a lot, that they know who you are. They've kind of formed a clique to work on projects through the course of the year, and which they end up doing. A couple of the things that changed this year is we have and I'm not going to have the exact name, but kind of a leadership in motion type thing, where the folks that are going through the program have to actually go out, find somebody to come in and present to the rest of the folks.
Okay.
So it's bringing out some of their styles of presentations and what they want to learn more about.
So at the retreat, then they're preparing them for that type of activity, and I remember teamworking.
Very big.
So what kind of fun things would they do? And we don't have to give it all away, but we could talk a little bit about some of it.
Well, there again, a variety of things. There, when I went through the program, you had to steer somebody through a lot of trust type exercises, where you might have a blindfold on and you have to use the proper words to get them from point A to point C without missing B.
And people would think, oh, that's got to be easy. No, it's not.
It is not.
Because if you say this way, they have no idea what you're talking
Or
about.
you'll see them moving their hands. Well, the guy's he's
This way,
blindfolded.
this
He
way,
can't
this way.
see.
No.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, that's a good activity. I remember having to figure a way to go through a series of holes, like a net type thing. I don't know if they still do that. And we had to all go through it. Everybody had to go through a different hole, and we had, and no one got left behind.
Correct.
And I remember, and Roberta, please bear with me, but I remember Roberta Keller was one of the first ones to go through or whatever, and she was just panicked. She would, and we laugh about it now, but we literally picked her up and put her through the hole, and we had people on the other side that grabbed her as she came through, and it was that confidence building that you have to trust your team, right?
Absolutely. You've seen various shows on TV that do the same type of thing, whether it's a physical exercise or not. It's a matter of working together to get the job done.
We never did that blindfold where you fall backwards into the crowd.
No.
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't do that one.
No.
But there were people of all sizes, all backgrounds. It's not just anybody that's paper pushers or people that work, in manufacturing. It was incredible, the cross section of people.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had my controller at the organization go through. I've had one of my street EMS people go through, who's a supervisor. So yeah, I mean, we've had all kind of different people, bankers. Vince Horgan's right-hand man is going through. Dan Heitzen right
Right, he's been on the show.
Yep, he's going to be next year's president.
Oh, awesome.
Justin Hamp from,
Justin's been on the show.
and he's our president this year.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of these people again and again that are popping up. Those are
Right.
the young people.
Those
that-
are the names you're going to be seeing in the paper
Absolutely.
for years to come. Us guys, we're just going to read about them in the paper.
Yeah.
And we'll guide them, and we'll talk about it in the days when we used to.
I used to think years ago, wow, that's not me, that's my dad, and now I've become my dad.
You are your
I am somebody to guide.
Yeah, and that's part of leadership too.
It is, it
right?
is.
Yeah, we go to the next generation. If I remember right, there was something called, I'm just going to say it, Myers-Briggs or something like
The
that.
Myers-Briggs, they've actually gone through a different one of learning about yourself, and I don't know what the acronym stands for, but it's DISC.
Okay.
And same type of thing. Are you comfortable in this type of thing?
So
And-
there's a bunch of questions.
Yes.
You fill it up prior
Prior
to
to-
the retreat,
yes.
and then they go through who
They
you
help
are.
to place you, to figure out who you are and how to partner you up. I went through a different program many years ago, about 7, 8 years ago, down in West Virginia. It's called the Medical Transportation Leadership Institute,
Okay.
and it did the same type of thing. In the second year of the program, they took people, not all accountants, not all medics, they took everybody from a different aspect of the business model, put them together to solve a problem. That's the same type of thing that the Myers-Briggs and the DISC did with Chautauqua Leadership.
I remember I think we had a bigger group. I don't know why we had a big group, but there was a lot of us. There was probably close to 30 people, I think. And I was like one of two people, whatever our initials were, E, N, something, 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 I can't remember them all. But everybody else was like on the other side of the room, and Patty and I, Eckwell, we were sitting there by ourselves going like, why are we sitting here by ourselves? We are just sort of like these wide open extroverts, and it was interesting because for me, I had to learn to be quiet, and I had to learn to give people that were quieter an opportunity to talk, give them an extra 10 seconds to give me their thinking, because extroverts sometimes want to do everything quickly, fast, and not that we know everything, we're bubbly.
Well, and being a leader isn't always about talking and always running and
Exactly.
pointing the direction. You can't point the direction until you listen.
Yeah, and especially if you've got 19 introverts behind you and
Yeah.
you're the extrovert, they're not going anywhere.
No.
You have to communicate back with them.
Absolutely.
And so on. So it like you said, I thought it was almost life-changing in some respects.
a great
for me.
program.
I learned a lot about people and myself. Okay, so the retreat lasts over a weekend, and there's just various activities that we don't even know what are planned for this coming year. But it's personal development, learning about yourself, teamwork, and so forth. Okay, so the weekend is now over, and then that's it?
Usually about once a month, maybe every 3 to 4 weeks, there's an event activity session. Like I said, there's about 3 of them during the course of the year that the actual class has to put together. There's 5 or 6 that are actually formatted and presented to the class. And then at the end of the year, we have a graduation ceremony for them. And we recognize them. They get their Chautauqua Leadership Network pin. And
It's a celebration,
yeah, it's a celebration.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's actually like a book, but it's a virtual book online of everybody that's in the network, their interests, their background, contact numbers, and
That's all on the website, correct?
Yeah,
Chautauqua Leadership
that's
Network.org.
very, very, very valuable. But you got to be a member to tap that.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's kind of a private thing. Yeah. Okay. And throughout the year, if I remember right, and maybe there are major topics like you mentioned boardsmanship. A lot of organizations need board members, but nobody thinks to themselves, "Oh, I should be a board member on this organization," and they're needed out there because we need people with expertise. But are they still doing something along those lines?
Yes, that's still happening. It's been changed a little bit from the historical past, but being on a board is an art of itself.
Yeah.
You have both the responsibility for guidance as well as some fiduciary responsibility.
So this program would help people understand the role of the board member?
I think it helps them understand the role of business and the board member. I've helped in a couple of the sessions with a financial background, sharing the financial pieces of things. And as I was treasurer for CLN for about 5 years. And a lot of people kind of look at me when I start talking about a balance sheet. A lot of people don't know.
Right. Because why would they know?
It's not what they've done.
Right. So again, this is expanding their education, their skill level, and perhaps will help them move into another position. And the other thing too is people forget that we start out in a position with a company or agency, but eventually we move up very often, and we need these skills. We need to have this awareness of whatever it is, like you said, fiduciary responsibility, and that's all good stuff, and it's good for the county.
Absolutely.
You know, if our agencies are working well and our companies are working well, it works well for everybody. Dave, we're down to about 1:40 some seconds left, so I'm gonna be quiet here, and why don't you recap whatever you want to talk about, and I'll do a follow-up question.
Well, and again, Chautauqua Leadership's been around for 25 years. We're actually, one of our signature events, we have a Leadership of the Year a ceremony. This year we're having it as a breakfast on August 15th. It's a week and a half down the road.
Okay.
And we're celebrating the leadership of Tom Benson. He's going to be celebrated as our CLN Leader of the Year. Jennifer Gibson, CLN Community Development Leader. Asha DeHarter, our Student Leader. And Bob Crane, CLN Volunteer Leader of the Year.
Bob Crane from Sherman, New York?
Yes.
Bob and I are on a board together.
There you go.
I know
It's a
Bob.
small world.
Yeah.
And this is going to be held at Chautauqua Suites on Tuesday, August 15th at 7:30 to 9:30. Tickets are still available, $25. We encourage people to come out. If they don't know how to get those, Katie Young at telephone number 338-1555.
Okay, super. And if people are interested to know more about the Chautauqua Leadership Network or want to join, how do they get a hold of it?
And again, we have our website. If you don't write it down today and what have you, Google it. We're ChautauquaLeadershipNetwork.org. There's an application online. There's also information of the events that we do, a lot of photos, a lot of historical. We'd love to have you.
Super. Dave Thomas, thank you for being my guest today and representing Chautauqua Leadership Network. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and we're just about out of time. Seems hard to believe that really flew. We're going to be here again next Saturday morning, live, 9 o'clock, right here on Access 5. I wish you a great weekend and hope that you check out Chautauqua Leadership Network. I've been in it. It's a great opportunity to learn more about yourself and be a leader. Okay, till then, be safe, use the sunblock, and we'll check you out next Saturday morning. Take care. There you go.